Yesterday, we learned that the BBC had, in its annual report, had cut a lot of superstar salaries by 10%. So poor old Gary Lineker, he went all the way down to £1.36 million a year. How's he going to get by? I mean, it's just not fair, is it? Poor old Zoe Ball, she's only on 1.134 million. I mean, it's outrageous the way they're making these celebrities scrimp on these starvation wages. But anyway, they are trying to sort of save some money, I guess, and the optics of that are quite good. However, in that same report, this has emerged today, the BBC admits that 1 million homes over the last 2 years have ceased to pay the BBC licence fee. Add that to an estimated 260,000 pensioners who are furious over the end of the free licence fee for the over 75s, and it begins to become a very, very serious problem. In fact, Julian Knight, the Conservative chairman of the Commons Media Select Committee, said it was clear the BBC is hemorrhaging support amongst a significant proportion of the British public. He added the broadcaster, if this trend continues, could soon reach vanishing point where evasion of paying the licence fee is so widespread it will undermine faith in the licence fee system. So very strong words, and that perhaps the that's the, sorry, in the background, you might hear the control room. England have just equalised, which is an opposite time. I'm trying to do a radio show here, folks. We're going to go over to the campaign director at Defund the BBC, Rebecca Ryan. Good evening, Rebecca.
Good evening, Kevin. You okay?
I'm all right. Yes, my control room are in fits of hysteria because England have just equalised. It's 1-1. So
yes, I have my daughter just off screen, sort of filling me in as well. Yeah. And
sorry for the.
I'm a little bit happier now.
yeah. Sorry for the diversion. But you got the gist of it. Julian Knight, the chairman of the Commons Media Select Committee, is basically saying that the number of people who are now refusing to pay the licence fee, the evasion problem, is getting so significant that the BBC is approaching vanishing point, where evasion will be so prolific that the licence fee system will cease to function. It will be non-viable.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's good that they're starting to sort of sit up and take notice. I mean, the key thing from us out of those figures, they say a million over the last 2 years. Actually, you know, we want to sort of claim a little bit of glory for that, because actually it's 700,000 of those are within the last year since Defund the BBC launched. So we'd like to sort of think that our supporters are getting the word out there, you know, and pushing the point that you don't actually need to have a TV license to watch, you know, on-demand TV and what have you. So, you know, it's more than doubled since we launched our campaign. So yeah, if that keeps growing exponentially, which we hope it will, then there absolutely will be a serious problem. But the thing that Julian says is this is about evasion. It's not about evasion. This is about people legally cancelling their TV license, because you don't need a TV license to watch on demand. You don't need a TV license to watch Netflix. You know, there's a lot of people out there who think that you need a TV license just to own a TV, which used to be the case. But that's not true anymore. If you're watching on-demand content on Amazon Prime, on Netflix, you know, even on sort of ITV Hub, you know, if you're watching the on-demand content, you can watch. There's so much available now. You don't need a TV license, and more people are cottoning onto that and realizing, well, what am I paying for? I'm just paying to be preached at.
Now, there's this other factor. There's this estimation by the BBC that 260,000 furious pensioners will opt out, stop shelling out their £157.50, soon to become, I think, £159.50 for their annual licence fee, because they're furious because for 20 years it was given to the over 75s free. They now have to pay again, and this is a protest vote, if you like. Now, from the numbers I've heard, 260,000, they'll be lucky. I've heard as many as 750,000, maybe a million might opt out. So they've got big problems from the old folk as well, haven't they?
Absolutely. And I think it's very patronising of the BBC to think that old people are not able to watch on-demand TV. They're not able to find alternative sources, you know, even if they sort of aren't, you know, technical natives, as we say, but even if they aren't that they've got family and friends who can show them how to sort of subscribe to Netflix, make a huge saving, and switch off the BBC. The BBC have done nothing but insult old people for at least the last 5-6 years over the Brexit vote. But it's been gradually building up for for decades. They're obsessed with trying to get the young people to latch on to the BBC, which isn't happening. Young people don't watch live broadcast TV, let alone BBC anymore. So they're not going to be buying up TV licenses. So yeah, they're absolutely in for, a tsunami of cancellations and, massive cost problems.
What's your impression? I know you're not in the BBC, obviously, far from it. But what's your impression of what the BBC is going to do about this? It seems to me they're just sort of sticking their head ostrich-like in the sand and carrying on as if they're going to keep getting their great big £3.5 billion a year bunts from the licence fee. But it's dying before their very eyes, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. But you're right. It seems as if they want to carry on as business as usual. And, they're trying very hard to run this sort of PR campaign that says, oh, look, we've saved here, a few million off staff costs. Well, actually, there's some staff left and a few staff of, doing slightly less work. Gary Lineker is still paid more than all of the world leaders combined. You've got Naga Chetty, who, laughed at the Union Jack and the portrait of the Queen live on air and had numerous complaints about her for various biases. And she got a 30% pay increase. So, they're clearly carrying on as if there is nothing here to see. But I think there are signs that the BBC knows there's a problem, because when Tim Davie first came on board, his internal speech that he gave to the BBC employees was that focus from now on would all be on demand content. They wouldn't be focusing on live broadcast. They know that this is happening. They know that there's going to be a big changeover. Well, there is no law for the license to sort of cover on-demand content. So, they're going to have to start lobbying not only for the license fee to remain, but for the license fee to be extended to cover on-demand content. If that's how they continue, and that will be a deeply unpopular piece of legislation for any group of politicians to try to bring in. So, I wish them all the best of luck with that, because it won't happen.
They're going to have to confront reality at some point and do something about this, because at the very least, I don't think they want to concede it, but they are going to have to concede that at the very least, this license fee is going to have to be significantly reduced. People aren't getting value for money for £159.50 or £157 as it is at the moment. They feel they're getting better value from Netflix and Amazon Prime. And I know that people inside the BBC know that, but publicly they won't admit it. And Naga Chetty, I just part you with this one, Rebecca, it really made me laugh when she was doing Breakfast Time and they were covering the upcoming Eurovision Song Contest. She asked their reporter who was on the scene in Sweden or wherever it was, said, I really apologise for asking this question, but what are the chances for the British contestant? She was ashamed to have to ask such a patriotic question. I mean, that's the other problem that the BBC have to sort out. Their problems are not only financial, they're cultural. But it's always a pleasure to talk to you, Rebecca. Thank you so much. Rebecca Ryan, Campaign Director for Defund the BBC there.